You're listening to the Court of Public Opinion. It is important when we title this topic. It could be broad today because we're going to cover a lot of things. Earlier today, I had done a post, actually last night too, and one I'm going to hit on right now. I found an article regarding Barbara Bush, and now you know her dad is George W. Bush, and Barbara Bush came out to support Planned Parenthood. It's interesting because we're going to talk about the pro-life message, and we maybe go a little step further and tie some other things because it seems like they're all tied together, okay? And I want to thank David Seaman for clarifying where he, just why he disappeared altogether. It's really important, we need credible people, and we really appreciate you setting us straight here. We really do, and it's important. And let's get into topics about all the things that are tied into this pro-life movement, because there's obviously a lot we're trying to accomplish, and we're trying to get educated. We're trying to know how to talk to our friends, family, about what is going on in the public. Now, I just heard today that Teen Vogue is rewarding girls with, like these vagina hearts after they get an abortion. Okay? This is how they reward kids. Because, see, they're creating this slave mentality. If these kids are going to get, stroked for getting an abortion, then what's next? And we got to be the ones to give these kids an alternative. And that's why we've got to be very educated about this topic. And if these kids are getting rewarded for bad behavior, it's no wonder these kids are flocking to them. Kids will get any kind of attention, even if it's negative. You understand that? And that's not a bad thing. It's just, that's the nature of kids. They look up, they need adults they can trust them. And we have to be trustworthy. To earn these kids' trust, it's going to get to the point where kids are going to get hurt. And if we're not there to pick up the slack, we're going to lose a whole generation of kids. So you have an opportunity to be a positive influence, especially regarding all these topics. Now, we've been hitting on a lot of topics, as you know, and there's a lot of issues. There's a social engineering going on there that is happening, whether it's they pick up a Teen Vogue, whether they pick up, movies. And look, this topic about DC Pedigate is all about symbology. I go to the Five Below here, and there's all kinds of symbolism everywhere. Now, I'm sure that they might not even be aware of it, but it's being promoted to the point where it's everywhere. And you could pick up on it, like Toys R Us. There's, things that are going on with the toys that have chemicals because it's made in China. So we're looking at a broad topic about children, life issues, quality of life, the quality of life of an American child today, race and standards, educating parents. Just knowing what you want what parents need to be equipped. And we need to be equipped. We can't just go out there and accuse people of anything, but we can't afford any more of the same old. We can't afford people to just not get a grip on this. Parents need, and there's probably parents that are aware of a lot of things, but there's a lot of things that we have to be each other's eyes and ears. And because if you're not, then what happens is you go in there and it's like you're going to spout off at the wrong people. You're going to aim your wrong information at wrong people. I've seen it happen before where people are upset all the time and they're just looking at anyone to accuse, their family, because they're so unfocused. And I heard myself, I was like, oh, why did I even post that last night? I was upset at David. I don't mean to question anything, but everything's in question. As soon as they throw the rug out from under our feet, we're all taken for, idiots. Okay? That's exactly what has been happening. Some of us really have earned the word idiot too. Some of us have really foolishly not been educated on all these topics. So there's a lot of information out there that we assume that they know, so we don't need to know. No, we need to know what's going on and how to talk and I guess what I'm trying to say is we need to communicate about all these topics, even this issue here about the pro-life issue, because of course people are like, well, they're just a bunch of pro-life activists. No, there's more to this issue about pro-life that has a lot to do with the character and quality of the people around us. Yeah, I personally want to know where your position is, not because I'm judging you. I need to know where you stand on this so I can get a better idea where you're coming from. Okay, so to me, yeah, the pro-life message is a measure of who you are as a person. To me, it's about character. And I'm looking at all these people and I'm thinking, where are they at? No, I'm not discrediting them. They might not know. They might just go along with it because, again, it goes back to, heck, if they're going to reward kids for bad behavior, like suggested on Teen Vogue, then it's no wonder we have a bunch of lost people. They're ill-equipped, uneducated, and it's not, and they've been fed this information. So you got these kids that are going to flock, and then they're going to end up getting hurt. So the idea is, I'm going to borrow a statement, so it's like a preemptive strike. You've got to be 10 steps ahead of these people. And if I'm wrong for what I'm saying, I want to be corrected. I don't want to hear this from somebody, this person said this. I want to hear directly from, in this case, David Seaman, where he needed to correct us in this way. Because I need to know, you need to know. We cannot afford, we cannot afford to take these kind of risks and then just take information and just throw it out there without really vetting people and the information. And that's the way it is. So I'm not going to get any credit to anyone that's out there just deliberately hurting people. I just cannot and I will not. But we need to know. We need to know for our own, peace of mind. Because in good conscience, I want to believe everybody has the right agenda. And you do too. Okay, I'm speaking for those people who maybe don't have the ability to articulate, but we can. Okay. And if I'm looking at a group of children and they're asking me questions like, well, why did you say this? And you know how kids are. Okay. They like to test people. Okay. But I'm going to say, yeah. And I hopefully will have an answer for everything. I hope. Okay. I'm not going to assume everyone is going to be equipped to answer the questions, but guess who you're going to get the most questions from? It's the kids. They're going to be asking the questions, and they're not afraid. So while a lot of people are afraid of what their peers think, you know what? You want to be in a room full of kids and try to explain yourself out of that because they'll test you like nothing. You know that, and I know that. My brother was a substitute teacher, and I was a teacher's aide. And let me tell you, I took about a half hour, and I said, good luck. It was hard. I mean, it's hard to be a teacher, okay? And control a classroom. It's really like babysitting. Because a lot of these kids, they don't have the discipline at home. And by the time they get to the classroom, you have to be the teacher has to get the classroom under control. It's the same way here on the internet. It's like once you get through all that research and you come here and you show me some information and, I got to get this platform under control. So I can't afford to listen to hearsay and all this nonsense. You all have brought a lot of information forward that actually has some you can verify it with facts. And because we can't afford to just make assumptions and accusations. This is why all of you are taking the time and digging away at topics. So when you bring up a topic, whether it be, this widespread movement of Islam, of course I'm going to want to know, where did you get that information? Because anything I've ever done here and anything that you guys have ever heard here, we're going to exploit these topics. I'm not going to sit here and criticize people without real good information to back that up. And we want to get a little bit better at educating ourselves. We don't want to be sitting here going off, slandering people. That's not the point to this. But it's really hard once you hear a lot of this information and you try to process it and you're like, there's just too much evidence here to support this story. Okay, so that's why I'm glad that some of you guys subscribed. I'm glad that you guys are taking the time to get educated because, see, you're not you're at least attempting to get to the bottom of something. And there's a lot of topics out there today. I mean, there's social justice going on everywhere. And I was in Washington, D.C. last week, okay? And they have this program called On the Ground. And just to piggyback on that, it's called On the Ground, and it's a social justice warriors. And, the big topic there was Jill Stein was being interviewed by the radio announcer. And, here's the thing. We are on the ground. We're out there. We're asking questions. We're not just like throwing out information without verifying our information. And to be honest with you, like any good researcher, if you're going to college and you're at college level, you have to footnote your information. You have to bring, bibliography. I mean, there's reasons why you have research tools, and you have to, what do they call that? I don't know, footnote, but references in the back of that paper. Say you've done a 10-page paper in college. This is the same level that some of us are at, okay? Not all of us have done it perfectly, by the way. But anyway, once you get to the point where you're going to do a presentation, you're going to discuss this to all of us, and we're going to ask each person if you want to. It's not that I'm requiring it, but we do watch what's going on out there, and we're asking questions, and we want to get to the bottom of some things so that we can move on to the next thing. And one of the things, and I apologize if I said something out of line. It wasn't because I was being purposely attacking, but it really, really is upsetting, because we want to be able, we have respect for where some of you've been, and a lot of you have come, through a lot of things, and you're way too smart. You got way too much going for yourselves, and no one wants to throw away this, the research because of something like that. I don't want to go too far on it because it's going to sound redundant. I'm just glad that a lot of you have really illustrated. You're dedicated, okay? So that says a lot, and your actions prove it, okay? Okay, and I needed to say that so that next time that happens, I won't jump the gun. I won't get upset because this is too important. Some of the stuff that we've been listening to and watching feeds from what they call fake news or very fake news and all that stuff, it really upset me. It really threw me off. And maybe it's meant to do that. So, but back to some things. I just want to end it here because our tape's about to run out. I apologize if sometimes we get easily, we get swept away by these topics. It has consumed us, okay? And it is overwhelming, and it can be very upsetting. And I don't want to throw this stuff out here and then get somebody upset who simply isn't informed or educated or doesn't understand. That's why I run us for the purpose